Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're starting Street Dance China Season 6 today. We're going to be taking a look at episode 0. Basically, I'm assuming it's going to be more of a explaining what is new, what's different, what makes Season 6 what it is. My scope of the show is I've seen excerpts of the show because some dancers that I follow have appeared on this show. And that's kind of my overall scope. I did do a very quick overview of kind of how the low-key structure of how the show works. But I mean, I think I'm excited to take a look at this just to see if it provides any more clear context as to what we're going to be looking at together for the course of the season. So let's go ahead and take a look.
今年街舞在我看来是非常与众不同的一季，
Okay, it's going to be a special
甚至可以说
season.
是最与众不同的一季。
Ooh.
我会把1到5季的街舞看作是
So they're saying it's going to
一
be
个
very
季，
different.
其实是一
It
个
has
新
an
的时代
era.
开
It's
始
the start of a
我们
new
将要举
era.
办这届的世界杯。
SDC World Cup. That sounds pretty
我们
legit.
非常好的契
Okay.
机是在于明年那个巴黎要办奥运会。 而
Okay.
且在刚刚结束的杭州亚运会上，来自中国
Just
的
ended the
breaking 的
breakdancer
舞
from
者
China.
刘青一拿到了女子组的冠军。
That's
接下来我们
awesome.
想做的事情就是让中国的街舞，在中国已经很有影响力的这么一些舞者和这样的一个舞蹈的形式，能够第一次走出国门，去往巴黎。
Okay. Make it to
所以
the
今年整个
international
一个
stage
逻辑
in
在于我们要
Paris.
选出在这届里面最具代
Point
表
of the
性的
show
一
is to
支
select the most
王者球
iconic
队
winning team.
然后今年的冠军和
Huh.
冠军队长就将成为这届第一次世
Will
界杯的
become the captain of the
王牌战
ace
队的队
team
长
of the first
去到
SCC World
明年的
Cup.
巴黎。所以今年这一季我们
And
的
make it
赛
to
制就会变成
Paris.
全新的队长们去选拔全新的
Okay.
街舞的舞者们。
So we have new captains
他们
this
第一
year.
步是先要证明自己拥有加入这支王者
Prove that
战
they're
队的
worthy of joining the winning team. This is so
这其实今年的几
interesting.
位队长的人选因此而诞生的。我们选择了台位队长朴宰范。
J Park. I do find okay, so I know J Park, AOMG,
朴宰范
right?
本身是一个 breaking 舞者出身，直到现在为止，他还在国外参加 underground 的 B-boy 的比赛，有些时候没过海，有些时候能拿冠军。我认为他是一个非常能够代表街舞精神的这么一位全新的队长。另外一个非常重要的人物，
This is interesting that they picked J Park. Like I understand his reasoning.
丁程鑫他其实是非常非常喜欢跳舞的。
I don't
我
know,
跟他聊过天以后，我
Ding.
会发现说，在他过去他自己在的组合里面，他其实扮演了一个相当稳重的一个大哥的角色，会有很多的比他年纪轻一点的团员遇到问题会来找他求助，所以他身上天生有一种领导别人的气质，这是他的一个队长身份的一个呈现。第二点是在于他虽然
So he
是比较
exudes-
多的是跳编舞作品。但是他
So he
真正
caters
喜欢
more
的
towards
舞蹈里面
choreography
非常
than
多
street.
包括 locking 啊，包括 hip hop， 包括 breaking。
Hip-hop and
给我本身
breaking.
终于有机会可以让他拥有一个这样的舞台，去
Okay.
释放他对街舞的一个爱好和热爱了。
This is kind of fun
第三位队
because
长
I mean I know J
但是
Park,
吴
but
建豪
I
原因
don't
是
know
因
the
为
any
他
guys.
身上具
Okay,
有国际的
I've
属
seen
性。第
him
二点呢，就是他曾经是我们
as
街
an
舞队长
actor,
的
right?
所以他会比较好的在
Okay,
节
so
目里
he
面
was
去
one in the
帮助
past.
舞者也好，全新的队长也好，去迅速的
So they
去
can quickly
知道我们
learn.
是一个怎样的一个比赛环境，以及我们这个比赛环境里面需要大家做出怎样的一些努力，我们才能够去尝试着去争取胜利。
Okay. So we have 3 this year.
队长彩排最后一遍啊。
我的队长大秀的核心点就是
Okay.
怎么说，冲破束缚，然后渴望得到自由吧。就像最开始一样，有很多人把我围在后面，然后我从最开始的一点一点，然后打破整体，然后去打破一个空间的规则吧。
Okay. So we get to see like a captain show
然后
of each
因为它是
captain,
4面的吧
see what
我记得
they're
是
bringing
然后
to the
视觉
table.
冲击给我非常震撼。
which is going to be really cool because he's saying he's known as
来了之后的感受就是我很快乐。
known as the choreographic captain, and then J Park's more the street captain, and then we have one with the most experience in the show format. But the show's going to be different because it's more of a qualifier for SDC championship.
urban 加 hip hop 的元素在里面。然后哇，我看到他的那个里面的一个舞者，哇，从那边一跳上去，然后就直接落在他的背，我觉得哦，每次看到这个，我觉得 好厉害，年轻真好。
It's cool that you get to showcase multiple your dancers. This is a cool show. Lucky Love His Logo. Intense Panda Bear. It's kind of a vibe. Want to challenge myself. I love that. I think this is a great opportunity for these judges to grow themselves. Biggest difficulty is time. That is hard. Finding good quality people to be a part of your routine as like your first showcase, and with a quick turnaround time, it's pretty tricky because a lot of really good high tier, high quality performers are booked out. So I love it. He's like, I can still dance. Yeah, dance. Okay.
6 feet under the cell.
I kind of feel that way a little bit too. And how his hat, how he wears his hat is actually, it's a complete side note, is how my hair looks when I wear a hat and I pull it back. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a vibe. Pop dancing.
不管是从他的 footwork 跟他的帅跟 popping 啊这些，我觉得都非常到位。
Everything is on
所以我
point.
觉得这次他
Yeah.
来是非常的好的选择。
Well, I knew about the program, obviously, because it's a very famous program amongst dancers.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know about Captain Venice Wu, just because
Venice
we've been
Wu.
friends for a long time. And then Ding, I didn't really know of him, but I heard that he's very famous and he's very popular. And yeah, so it was a pleasure to meet him.
I love, he's just a walking band-aid, is what it feels like, because he's got so many tattoos. This is cool.
在今年这一季节目里面，我其实从
We
海
did a
选
major overhaul with the preliminary and elimination.
去往这届世界杯的舞者是
Wow.
今年全新的舞者，先跟他们有一次交流。
Hold on, I need to pause that real quick. Normally I don't pause when I watch through these. Let me take a look at this list. Okay, I know Rice Ball, I know Pop and C, Balbo, Ibuki. I know
今年
them.
全新的舞者，先跟他们有一次交流。
battle 台正式开启。
That's so interesting. So I'm assuming it's just
可以
not...
说是这届有史以来最强的 battle， 因为我们云集了1到5季。
We have ace dancers from the past 5 seasons and new dancers
想要去巴黎打这届世界
who
杯
want
的
to
全
take
新
part in the SDC World Cup finals.
这里面就是各个领域里面的
So they were
实力
picked
非常高的
already.
都会在今年相遇，而且他们是多次在世界级的舞蹈比赛里面争夺冠亚军的老对手，
Sheesh.
还有一些是刚刚声名鹊起的新生代。
This fame is on the rise. They want to challenge.
有非常好
Yeah.
的参赛经历的大神级的选手们发起挑战，所以今年的 battle 在我看来是含金量非常高的。
Okay, so normally they just, I'm assuming they had a bunch of people come out, right? But then now they've limited it down through the preliminary, and they've already been selected by the judges. Or is that structure still the same? Okay. So, my thoughts on this. I'm definitely very curious about the show. I think that just the things format-wise that I've heard was there's like an audition process preliminary. They go to different streets and they perform for their judges. Similar to Show Me the Money a little bit in that way, but they it just depends on the season for that. But here, they made it sound like they already picked the people that are going to be in the show, but I don't know. I'm assuming maybe they're the battle guest equivalences of like the ace battles that represent the teams already. I don't know that information. If you're somebody that is very familiar with the differences between what's going on, please let me know. Normally I react to English or Korean, based shows, and I do know a little bit of Korean, so that does help me. But here, I really don't know a lot of Chinese, and I can't read Chinese either, and that's another downside. So I have to wait for the English subtitles to understand context of the show. So I may be a little bit on the slower side, but I think like format, I've heard so many great things about the format of the show, or just like the quality and caliber of showcasing the dancers. I think I've just heard many great things. I'm definitely looking forward to it here, and hopefully I'll be able to carve out time to tackle a previous season. Some of you were saying that I think it was season 4 was like the best season to you. You let me know which season's best. I'll probably put a poll out on Patreon, and I'll let them pick for me. But I'm definitely very much interested to see kind of how this goes. I think it's cool that they have it to where there's an end goal competition, championships. Now they're making it sound like it's going in the Olympics. I don't know if that's going to be the case for this. There's a lot of things to navigate through, because when you think about your judges, not all the judges represent China, right? So that would be like if they do represent China as a country for the SDC championships, or is SDC happening during the year of Olympics but it's a separate entity and it's hosted by China, that's a different story, and like anybody and everybody can go and you have your own team and stuff, right? I don't know. It's to me, I feel like I love the intention of what they're doing, but there's so many logistical things that I have questions about that I think naturally over the course of the show I'll become more fluent in. Because remember, this is my very first video of context in any way of the show. Some of you have 5 seasons deep and you're probably like, this noob. Right, I'm a noob. I'll admit it. But I did recognize a couple of people. I have seen Balbo. I've seen his, what is it? They had these compilations on YouTube, and I've watched him. It was like 7 to Smoke. I've seen his takes there, and he's just freaking phenom. So I'm excited to see him. And this time, Ibuki, I followed her pre her time on the show, so it's cool to see her. But she's Japanese, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you have people who are not from China that are participating in the show to make a team that represents China. I don't think they said that, but I think like to represent for the SDC World Champs. Like normally when you talk World Champs, everyone's affiliated with a country, normally because Olympics are affiliated with your country. So I'm very curious how logistic wise that'll look. And also with their judges, I think that it's a mix of, it was interesting hearing him justify the judges that he chose, but part of me is like, there is always going to be better people aside from the people that you pick. Like being very honest, like you can't say these are the best people that we could have picked here. There's probably gonna be others, however, because they did have to factor in virality, right? Because that's a factor into shows nowadays. People who are very popular. And sometimes when you get people who are popular, a lot of times you don't see them in the scene as much. I know Jay Park's been trying to integrate himself into the scene, but he is not the best breaking celebrity that I know of. I personally, like being very honest, but that doesn't mean that what he's going to contribute to the show is going to be subpar. I'm definitely interested to see what kind of skills he brings here, because it's so different than most of the time I've seen him. It was on Show Me the Money, you know, as a producer. Right? So I think it's just going to be so interesting seeing him here. And I know he was a judge for Asia's Got Talent, so he has a wide pool of global fans. So I think that it was a good call to pick him. But I just goes back to whenever I said what I said about, you know, there's always going to be better people. It's just inevitable. Some people are like Wang Yibo. I know he was in the show for a hot minute, you know, for 3 seasons, right? And I know he was a really big, you know, a lot of people, it just feels like a lot of people that they picked, they were like celebrity, they were idols, or they were actors, you know, there were a lot of different things. And so I know 2 out of the 3 judges I think are completely new to the judging side of this, and then one of them is a previous. So they pick, it's either they specifically pick the people that they did, or they asked people and they were like, I can't, and then they picked who they picked. It's always a politics side on this, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be really good. I'm definitely excited about it, and I really can't wait to get into the other trailers and get into to looking at these showcases. I think it's going to be super, super fun. Thank you guys for watching. I know for this I didn't really help an extensive amount because it wasn't anything to analyze. It was more so me understanding how the format of the show works, kind of. Yeah, I definitely have more questions than clarity, but I think those things will be answered in due time. If you want to see more Street Dance China content or any Street Fighter series content, I have a ton of that on my YouTube. I also have it on Patreon. Pretty much most, if not all, of my content shows up first on Patreon before it makes its way to YouTube. So if that's something that interests you, you can go check it out. If not, you'll see it here on YouTube. Thank you guys again, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.